Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Sasquatch Speaks. I am Sasquatch, otherwise known as Gavisas. Thank you all for coming by today. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the internet, specifically internet service providers. I know this is something that I've mentioned a couple times before, both on the Triple Art Podcast, links in the description down below, and on this channel and other videos in momentary laments of its lack of functionality. First and foremost, I know I probably shouldn't be just throwing around, it's technically a customer review at this point, so I guess there's not really a big problem in throwing around the name of the actual companies that I use or have used. To wit, I am currently a Comcast and Time Warner cable customer. I say Comcast and Time Warner Cable because they recently bought out Time Warner Cable. So, pertinent information, perhaps you didn't know, and that's one of the main reasons that they have a current dispute with Netflix, but that's not really the point of this video. The point of this video is the service which I am receiving from them, and I'm paying for 20 megabytes download and 4 megabytes upload. Now, I understand, because in preface to everything that I'm about to say, I understand that I am in no universe which exists within these laws of physics and limitations am I ever going to get 100% of the time exactly what I'm paying for. I know that. I understand exactly how unlikely it is that I'm even going to get a 20-minute period where I have exactly perfect service. I understand that. With all of the radio wave interference and different bandwidths and everything else like that, I understand fully well that I am probably never in a million years going to get exactly what I'm paying for. However, with what I am paying, the level of service which they are charging an exorbitant amount for and an ever-increasing amount for, which was not part of our original contract. And I understand that because I don't live by myself, I live in a house with my family, but when we signed up for this internet contract, we did so under the assumption that it was like a 1-year deal thing, so after 1 year, we knew the price was going to go up to a certain point. And I think it was supposed to double or something after the first year, which is exorbitant. We were paying like $30 a month, but we said, okay, $60 a month for that level of internet, not bad. However, if it had stopped there, there would be less complaint. I wouldn't say no complaint, but there would be less complaint, because I'm still paying for X amount of upload and download. But rather than stay at that $60 per month, which we were fully well expecting, we were informed that this is where we'll be going up to. It has continued to increase since that jump up until we're paying almost $90 a month for this internet. And I understand, okay, there's costs and everything else like that. This wasn't in the contract that we agreed to. So there's a problem there, but I could almost understand the $90 a month. Almost. We're not going to talk about overseas where you can get 200 down and 100 up, 200 megabytes down, 100 megabytes up for about $25 a month, and that's the low standard. We're not going to talk about that. We're talking about American technology, which is at least 20 years behind everywhere else, which is sad to say, but whatever. I'm not an internet service provider. I'm just a consumer who is a little bit concerned about the service which he is receiving, or trying to receive. Because, like I said, I'm paying, well, not me personally, but us as a family, we're paying about $90 a month. What we're supposed to be receiving for that should be somewhere around the consideration that we contracted with Comcast for, which would be 20 megabytes download per second, and 4 megabytes per second up. Now, I believe I mentioned before, so I'm going to throw it in here as well. Sometimes our upload speed does go up above 4. I think it generally tends to fluctuate around 5.5 or so when it's working, and that's the real caveat to all this. When it's working, for whatever reason, and I cannot quantify or find any sort of reasoning for this, at multiple times every single day, not some days, not this week and not next week, every single day, at some point, usually more than one point, the internet connectivity within our house will drop to about 0.25 megabytes per second download and about 0.19 megabytes per second upload. And I'm very specific on that because I actually have a speed test app that I spam sometimes during these times, that I can see just the lineup of, okay, 0.25, 0.19, 0.25, 0.19, 0.25, 0.19, on and so forth, for hours at a time. And it's like, okay, I understand. Like I said, I preface all this by saying, I understand that in no possible physical universe am I actually going to get all that I'm paying for all the time. I understand that. I realize that. I'm willing to accept and work with that. However, there has to be some sort of minimum level of accountability for Comcast, for the internet service provider, who this is one of their main packages they're offering to everybody. And I know I'm not the only one, because I hear other people who have also signed up for Comcast service having similar issues. The point that not me, but us, my family, are being very faithful. That's a good word to explain it. Very faithful in holding up our end of the contract of providing their $90 per month, which was not a part of the contract. I'm still not sure how they can actually charge us that, but they say they can. We may get some lawyers involved at some point and actually say, hey, is this actually what they can do or not? But that's for another time. Pretty sure I'll probably get them involved on their end too, but that's again for another time. Right now, this is just kind of postulating a question or idea as to what is the accountability level of these companies who are advertising as being able to provide a service. I won't say necessary service, but a desired service. A heavily desired service, which millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of people rely upon, really. The internet is everywhere. The internet is everything at this point. Google are our ultimate overseers and overlords. Just kind of deal with it. They are into everything. They own everything. They are producing everything that everyone is buying, and they own all the software that's being run on it. Just not yet, but just wait, they will. Google are our eventual internet overlords. Just it's going to be a fact of life, really. I'm not saying they're going to rule the world or anything, but everything that is happening right now, they have a finger in it somewhere. Or like self-driving cars, Google Glass, just Google search engines in general, piling up millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of terabytes of data every day for people just typing in random searches and compiling all that metadata and everything else like that. Believe me, Google knows everything about you and everything that will ever happen to you. They're that good. Again, not the point. The point is that my access to this massive network, and that's what it is, that's what the internet is, internetwork, that's how that works. But my access to that is stifled and stopped constantly on a daily basis, at least one time every day, if not more, usually more, for hours at a time. And it's not like I'm not paying it. It's not like I'm not paying through the nose for it. I'm paying exorbitant prices, far beyond what I agreed to. And it's just okay for this corporation to arbitrarily say, well, no, I understand that you are paying us a sizable amount of money every month, more than you agreed to pay us, more than you even agreed to pay us after an increase. And it's just, but even after that, we still say it's okay for us to just arbitrarily deny service. Because basically that's what it is. I understand if we were still in the days of dial-up, well, even in the days of dial-up, 0.25 and 0.19 megabytes per second is ridiculous. I mean, even back then, that would just be like, dude, your internet's slow. You need to pick a faster dialer or something, because it's so slow you can't even use it. And that's really the problem. You can't use it. Web pages now have adapted to our faster internet speeds. So there's more going on in them. There's more ads and things that are loading because people want to make more money. That's not a problem. I understand you want to make money. I understand that Comcast wants to make money. I'm just curious as to what they're doing with it if I'm paying them $90 a month, and I'm assuming a whole bunch of other people are, and for no apparent reason at all, my internet's dropping out multiple times a day. And I go, you still have service, it's still working, it's still connected. Technically, yes. Actually, no. Well, even basic HTML pages right now, where it's just text, even those nowadays are taking more internet speed to even load, just because of the expanded code. Security and logins and everything else like that, all those other things are requiring more and more and more processing power in order to gain access to them. And the powers that be, the corporations, are really the gatekeepers to all this. Because they can go, well, hey, I understand that, like I said before, they understand. I'm assuming they understand. I hope they understand that I'm trying to gain access to their product. I'm giving them their money. I'm giving them everything that they are asking, but they're not giving me what I'm contracted with, legally contracted with them for. Okay, I contract with you. I will pay you this amount of money. You will give me this amount of service. Again, I understand I'm not going to get... There's supposed to be some sort of bare minimum. Like, even if we can't get you all that you ask for, we'll at least give you this. At my level of contract, I'd say minimum. Absolute bare minimum. Because I'm paying for 20 down and 4 up. I'd say bare minimum is half that. Absolute minimum. If it goes below that, something is seriously wrong on their end. And it needs to be fixed. Because not just me, but a lot of the people are paying them massive amounts of money for service that's not being rendered. And I know some people who have business models, business contracts with them. Ours is a personal, like a home contract. And at some point in the future, I may decide I want to build upgrade to a business package. But right now, it's just not necessary. It's not something that I require. It's not something that I need. And in the future, probably also won't be something that I need. But I don't think it should be incumbent upon me to even be thinking that, hey, my service is so bad that I want to consider paying more money so that my service is less bad, when I'm paying for service that should be perfectly good. And it really is getting to that point where it's like, hey, I am fulfilling my end. That's not the problem. I'm doing all that I am supposed to be doing to pay you through the nose for your service. And as long as I'm getting your service, I will be quiet. I will shut up. I will enjoy it. You won't hear from me ever again, except on whatever day of the month it is that we pay our bill. But I'm not getting it. I'm not receiving what it is that I'm owed, really. And it's not entitlement. It's I'm owed. I put in my end. Contract law, there has to be offer, acceptance, and let's see, offer. Can't remember this. It's been so long since I took business law. But offer, acceptance, and consideration. They made me an offer, and I said, hey, we will give you 20 megabytes down and 4 up for this amount of money. I said, okay, that's great. I will give you consideration, which is money, for your service. Consideration on their part is the service that they promised me in the first place. And no one understands, well, I won't say no one, but there doesn't seem to be quite the understanding there, generally, that, at least on the corporation side, at least on their end, that yes, we have contracted with not just me, but a whole lot of other people for this level of service. That we're going, hey, whatever service it is, it should be a guarantee. Like there should be guaranteed minimums. Apparently, there's not, unless you have a business account. Business account, there's guaranteed minimums. You pay like triple for it, but you get guaranteed minimums. I'm wondering why there aren't guaranteed minimums for the lay person, for the person who's just trying to get internet in their house so they can watch YouTube videos, or in my case, post YouTube videos, or whatever else it is. Check emails. I can't even get into my email half the time because the internet's down. The email. I use Gmail. Basic. I don't use no fancy graphics. Well, I do have the space background because I like that and it looks pretty, and I like that they have like an orange color on it. But it's nothing. It's just a picture. It's a JPEG behind just text. It's not difficult, and still my internet is at 0.25 down, 0.19 up, is insufficient to load that simple of a page. Something is wrong here, and I'm wondering if there's anyone else out there who recognizes this. If anyone else out there is like, hey, I understand. I realize that there's a problem here. I don't know what happened to it. There's the net neutrality thing about how this is actually getting into the Comcast versus Netflix thing, about how Comcast was refusing to upgrade a part of their network, which would make streaming video easier. And they said that it was creating undue levels of stress upon their cash reserves, whatever like that, so they couldn't do it. But the real reason they weren't doing it, and there's a lot of other people who've covered this already, but the real reason they weren't doing it is because they acquired Time Warner Cable, which is in direct competition with Netflix, because they're both bringing that sort of content, this video streaming content, to people's homes. It's just that Time Warner Cable does it through the cable box, and Netflix does it through the internet. And by not upgrading their network to allow for Netflix to go through, they were essentially limiting consumers' access to a product they were paying for, by limiting access to the product that they were actually paying Comcast for. And I haven't heard in a little while where that case has gone. I probably should have looked it up before I started doing this video, but I wasn't planning on talking about this. But it has kind of led to that point, because one of the things that they were talking about during this whole proceeding was reclassifying not just Comcast but all internet service providers as what is called common carriers. And what common carriers is it's like telephone service, where if you are where it strictly enforces that offer acceptance consideration contract law, where if they contract with you that yes, we will provide, we will upfront make you an offer, and then I as the consumer go, okay, I like that offer, I will accept it and give you consideration for it, then their consideration is guaranteed, or they're going to court to make recompense for it, because it's that strict of a definition under the law. And apparently they have not been reclassified as common carriers yet. Otherwise, I would not have these problems, because they would have been forced to upgrade their network. But I'm just curious. And again, this is stateside. I know I have some foreign, some non-American subscribers and viewers. So this may not really apply to you, or maybe you have internet troubles over there. If you do, I'd love to hear about them in the comments down below. Let me know I'm not alone in this. This isn't just something that's annoying me. That's not something that's just affecting me. I mean, you're kind of on my channel listening to my thoughts and my musings, but it's kind of nice sometimes to know that you're not alone, and maybe that's kind of what I'm doing here. Maybe there are other people out there who are just sick and tired of just being taken advantage of by these companies who's like, okay, well, yes, we will promise you that, we'll promise you, fingers crossed, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that we will give you X amount of service if you give us money. And like I said, I don't have problem exchanging money for services. This is a capitalist system here in America. That's how this whole thing works. Money greases all the wheels. They're supposed to make everything happen. But when money no longer becomes sufficient to maintain the service, when money no longer becomes sufficient to receive equal consideration, like I said, if I was getting what I was paying for, I would have no problems whatsoever. This video would not exist. But I'm not getting what I'm paying for. I'm not even close half the time. The internet just randomly decides, nope, not working today. Not working right now. Your upload time just went from 30 minutes to 4 hours. Deal with it. And it seems very disingenuous. A contract made in bad faith, which is a legal term, which means that when they signed up, they knew, and I can't prove it, so this is allegedly. All statements made here on out are allegedly. But it's very easy to assume that because this is not something that has recently happened, it's something that developed. It wasn't like the first week, oh, this will it. But within a couple months, it was something that was starting to become more and more prevalent and has progressively worsened. Did Comcast realize from the start that they were not going to be able to completely hold up their end of the bargain? And so rather than just be upfront about it, hey, at some point your service might drop out. Even if they inform me, hey, it's within reason. Every day, way too much. But once a week, deal with it. Once a month, I'd be really happy. If my internet only went out once a month, I would be like the happiest person on earth. But every day, at that frequency, and for that duration, like I said, it's hours at a time. At that level, you have to think somebody in there would have realized we can't actually hold up our end of the bargain. So they should either reduce the price or stop offering it altogether and let someone else who can offer that level start doing it. I mean, yes, they're the huge conglomerate and they have all the coverage in all the places, but and this kind of leads me to another thing. Before we had AT&T, and at our old house, and we moved here, we tried to get it again, and they told us that, yeah, we can offer you, like, I think with them we tried to contract for 10 down and 2 up, or 2.5 up, or something like that. And after about 2 weeks, we realized, it was less than 2 weeks. I realized less than 2 weeks, but the rest of the family didn't figure it out until about 2 weeks later. They realized that we're not getting what we're paying for, and so we called them. Oh yeah, your service area is not our service area was not within their confines, and they said, well, we can't actually give your service there, and all we can give you is like this bare minimum package, which was like 1 down and like 0.237 or something like that up, which is completely insufficient. I mean, it'll get those basic HTML pages up. It'll get me into my Gmail, but anything beyond that, not happening. But and they were, after we confronted them, they were upfront. Yeah, okay, just fine, no problem. We understand that you're not. But again, they contracted with us. They said, okay. At the start, they were like, yeah, we can totally give you that. And it's like, well, no, we can't. Be honest, people. Just be honest. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to your consumers. Don't lie to anybody. Just be open and upfront, and that'll solve a lot of problems. And if you can't do it, if you can't make good on what you're saying, don't do it at all. Don't even pretend like you can. That way, maybe someone who's local, who's one of those like outliers, is going to be all the rebel, and what I'm going to start my little internet company, and I'm going to go up against Comcast and everything else like that. At least in this little area, because in this little area, you know what? Just maybe, I can actually fulfill the requests that are coming in from people. Hey, I need 20 megabytes download, and I need 4 or 5 up. Can you do that for me? Yeah, you're right down the street from me. I can run a cable out of my office and just hook it right into your house. Great! I love it. Do it. Make it happen. Make it so. Mr. Worf. Sorry. But rather than do that, no, these big conglomerates, everywhere we have the biggest network and we have millions of people on us. We're only servicing about a quarter of them as we've actually contracted with them for. But, we're servicing all these people. Yes, wonderful. Oh, I'm sorry, we have all this static and everything else on our network that's just messing up all of their internets. But at least we're making money. At least we're getting their money. At least we're hiking our rates. At least we're getting more and more money from all these people who didn't actually contract with us to pay us this much. But we're saying that they have to pay us as much so that, they maintain their service, which goes out every single day. To unusable levels. I understand. Yes, I'm still technically getting the internet. I get it. But it's unusable. You can barely even get just the Google search engine to come up, which is a white page with a couple letters on it and a box. Can't even get that to come up. It's unacceptable. It's a deal made in bad faith. It's a contract which was signed without full consideration from the offering party. And I don't think it's right. And neither should any of you who are also being pigeonholed by this. Anyway, whether you're a Comcast customer or not, if your company is doing the same thing to you, put in the comments down below. If you're from a foreign country and also feeling similar circumstances affecting you, definitely throw it down there. I'd love to know whether or not it's just an American thing, which I kind of suspect it is because, like I said, in Hong Kong, 200 down, 100 up, which is like $25 a month, and the base service, that's like the lowest they even offer it over there, which is ridiculous. Why can't we have that here? Google Fiber, hurry up! Anyway, enough tangents. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please leave a like rating down below. Like I said, if this is something that's affecting you in any way, shape, or form, please leave a comment down below. Tell me all about it. If not, or you didn't like it, leave a dislike rating and nasty comments telling me to stop talking so much about myself and everything that's affecting me in every little itty bitty tiny way, and stop being so mad and angry at everything in the world. Anyway, I thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.